let me ask you this. Sorry, it's interesting you talk about financial punishment, but if they were to do that with Man City, it wouldn't affect them, and they'd
No,
probably end up
and
doing
that's why
something else.
I don't know the answer to the question. I don't know what is a fair and what is a reflective punishment. But you punish them financially by deducting points and letting them go into a different league. So I suppose that's a financial punishment in a way in itself anyway. But for me, a points deduction hurts the players, the fans, and the manager a lot more than it hurts the ownership of the club. Is it a punishment that fits the crime? I don't know.
And Alex, what do you, if we talk about Manchester City, what do you make of that? So if their 115 alleged charges are proven, if it's 90, 60, how many it is, what is the punishment? What is it? Is it relegation? Is it, obviously can't be liquidation, but what do they do? How do they solve it? What would you say?
Down to the conference. That's what I say.
Not the Conference League.
Look what happened to Rangers in Scotland. No. You laugh, but it happened to Rangers in Scotland.
Yeah. Do you think that could happen, Alex? Do you think they could go down to the conference?
Well, if they're guilty, I hope they go down. That's how I feel. When we spent our money, we did it within the rules of the game. We were the pioneers, and City took it to a different level. I mean, ultimately, you've got to stick to the rules, right? So, I've got nothing against punishing clubs for not abiding by that. And as well, I mean, if you look at Chelsea, I mean, we've actually admitted that we've made mistakes. We've reported those. I don't know whether that was to the Premier League or UEFA. It was something, but that was under the Abramovich era. So we may still get punished as well. And if it is a points deduction, so be it. I mean, at least we're being honest and we're admitting to our mistakes. Man City are clearly trying to cover their tracks. They're clearly they must be nervous about the conclusion of this. But I don't know how long it's going to take, because if it takes God knows how long for one charge, how long is it going to take for 115? But no, if they're guilty, then they should go down, and I would be more than happy to see them do that.
Really, that is the feeling, and that's all rivalry aside. That is simply from a footballing point of view.
Well, let's be honest. The Premier League hasn't been. I mean, Paul just said it. The title race has not been great recently over the past few years. Man City is steaming ahead in all competitions, and if we find out that they've done that from cheating, well, there you go. I mean, how's that for sportsmanship? And rightly so. Other teams should have won different trophies, and they should be revoked of all the trophies they won during a period they've committed these crimes. Which means that Mourinho might have won the Premier League with Man United. Arteta might have actually done it with Arsenal. So it could completely change the outlook on English football. And I suppose as well from an English standpoint, the Premier League is obviously top dog. We know that. But again, it's just so much money that goes into it. And I know La Liga is not what it was, but at least they have some rules in place, and teams generally stick to them. And it's not nice to see Barcelona struggling and teams like that. I know Madrid, they can spend a lot, but it's because they generate a lot as well. It would be nice to see the Premier League try and even things out so it's a little bit more fair. And then hopefully we can see that spread across Europe, because it is just a cesspit of money. And then what that means for match-going fans like myself, season ticket prices will go up, general tickets will go up, and ultimately we'll be the ones that have to pay more because of the inflation in the whole market.
But what do you think? Do you think actually, do you think relegation is fair? Is down to the Conference League actually a viable solution for the Premier League? Or does it just damage the reputation and the product of the league that we've built over the last 15, 20, 25 years?
Both. But I think the Premier League have shown their teeth, and they've set a precedence. Like I said, 10 points for Everton, harsh, yeah, very harsh, down to 6, okay. Manchester City, Alex quite rightly said there, they've been facing these charges for a long time. They've employed some of the best lawyers in the world. They've just been kicking the can down the road. But from a Manchester City point of view, and you listen to Manchester City, they're absolutely adamant that they've done nothing wrong. They're adamant they're going to fight these charges, and they're adamant that they are going to be found innocent of all the charges, it's going to be an interesting one to watch. I mean, we can speculate on potential punishments. We can speculate on potential relegations and what would happen to them. But if you listen to it from a Manchester City side of things, they're very, very adamant, and they're very strong in their wording that they haven't done anything wrong and they'll fight these charges. Whether you go back, if they are found guilty, I'm not a big in favour of stripping them of titles or trophies and things like that. You can't ever take that away from players. You can't ever take that away from fans. And I think that going back and trying to change history, I think that's done. But I think if they are found guilty of certain things, then there will be punishments that fall in line with other punishments. But this is going to be something that we're going to be talking about for quite a long time on here. And when it does start coming to a head, it's not going to come to a quick conclusion. Yes, punishments do have to fall in line. Yes, there is potential of relegation, not just through one league, through two, through three leagues. We've seen that with Rangers in Scotland. We've seen that with other teams. But there is another side to this story, and it's Manchester City's side to this story. And like I've said, they are adamant that they're going to fight this the whole way, and they've done nothing wrong.
You've just watched a segment from Football Insider's brand new podcast, The Inside Track, with me, Lewis Pearce, alongside the guests on the show. Thanks very much for tuning in. Please do give the video a like, comment your thoughts on the topic, and feel free to share on your social media pages. If you want to listen to the full podcast episode, click the link in the description below. Keep your eyes peeled for plenty more content and exclusives here on The Inside Track.